Yes, hello, hi.
Yes, hello, hi.
Welcome one and all to this full moon in Aries. I
Yeah.
Rain Lawrence. I'm here with my lovely friend Amu Clarity. And together, well, actually, first, let me go first. I am a placenta encapsulation specialist, a menstruality coach. What else do I do? A doula. I'm branching off into rail. Yeah, that's me.
And I am Amu Clarity. I do tarot reading, so I'm a tarot reader. I also design crochet, fashion, fashion design, crochet designer. Let's say that crochet designer, and I do video editing as well. So this presentation, well, not the presentation. We do the presentation together, but the part where you see our face and the thing in the background, that's me.
Yeah, I did try for a little while to be involved in that element of production, and it's not my strong suit, so I let Amu get on with that. We got to
Well, let's say these past presentation, you were the one building the presentation more, and even content wise, that was you.
Yeah, so if you've seen a um steep incline in quality over the months, that's to do with Amu's input. But nice.
Teamwork.
Yeah, man, it's been good, hasn't it? We committed in early 2020, no, sorry, late
No,
2020
the end. Yeah.
to do every new moon and every full moon. And so far, here we are in September 2023, and we've stuck true to our word. So I'm pleased.
Almost a year.
Almost a year.
It goes so fast. Can you realize we were both in Jamaica at the time?
It goes so fast. And actually it's gotten easier, hasn't it? Like we're getting we're like a smooth machine now.
Yeah, I feel like I also we're getting more comfortable. But the that's the thing. We started with lives. We started with live presentation with people in the audience and everything.
Yeah, it has evolved, hasn't it, over the 9 months? And I think we're now at a place where we're like, yeah, this is kind of where it's settled and it works better.
It's better when it's me and you.
That's it. Yeah, we don't need no one else. Yeah, want to join our coven?
But I feel like it's less chaotic, since we don't have other people talking and you don't hear no baby crying, and no offense,
Yeah.
it's clearer.
And then people can just engage with it on their own time, in their own on their own terms,
Yeah.
But we do have other avenues whereby you could actually kind of communicate with us more personally. So we have a Telegram group where Black Queen of Pentacles puts all of their content and all of our sort of interests. So that's things like witchcraft, astrology, human design, tarot. So if you would like to join us there, please do. This is the QR code that you can scan to come on over.
Yes. We also put our email address there for PayPal. So we spend a lot of time building this presentation, this content, and we also have monthly fees for the program we are using. So if any one of you would be willing to send us a little donation, that would be really, really appreciated.
Yes, any donation, however large or small. So we've got this lovely fiery full moon in Aries. So Aries, when the full moon is in Aries, it's about starting over. And that could mean new projects or like adding spice to a dwindling relationship, or like getting a glow up in terms of your image, or like starting a new job, or quitting a relationship, quitting a job, all those sorts of transitiony moments in life are more common when the full moon is in Aries. And it's also because of that fire energy, the ram is kind of a little bit of an unpredictable creature. So the full moon in Aries can be known for its kind of wildness and people behaving. It's not necessarily out of character, but it's kind of like that analogy of like a pressure cooker, and the pressure mounts and mounts and then it has to release somewhere. It's like that. So it's not like the person wouldn't act like that, but it takes them a long time to get to that point, and often that point is reached when the full moon is in Aries. So look out for that in yourself and others.
Yeah, and right, like with this fire energy, the way you like, everything comes with drive, everything comes with passion, so everything is more fiery in general. And yeah, as you mentioned, full moon.
Yeah,
So
Aries is quite an independent sign. So if they feel, and remember, everybody has a little of Aries in their chart somewhere. So this is not to say that only Aries rising and only Aries star signs are going to feel like this. This moon will impact everybody, and everybody has Aries. So you
I
may
don't have any Aries. I don't have no Aries in my chart.
apologize.
But everybody's going to feel it because it's the moon energy. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Thank you for that disclaimer. Actually, yeah, it is possible to have none, but most people will have a little something of Aries.
Yeah.
Um, what was I going to say? I was just thinking about if Aries is fixed, right? No, it's not. It's cardinal. Yeah, so cardinal signs are all about action and taking an initiative. So this wildness can come from that feeling of like, oh, I want to do, like the ram kind of pushes his foot back and he wants to go for it. It's that frustration of being sort of tethered and not permitted to do what it is that is your impulse to do. So yeah, watch for
Yeah.
that around the
And
29th.
yeah, as you said, Aries are really assertive, and they it's like they have their own point of view all the time, and they know where they're going. So it's this fire energy again that is coming out.
Yeah, so that can express in the you versus me, kind of those actual interpersonal conflicts of like Aries thinks a certain way and they really feel like that has to be adhered to by everybody else, especially under this moon. So you can come up against some kind of like irrevocable, like an argument where it's just like a stalemate, neither party is going to compromise. So yeah, watch out for that in the full moon, and just maybe agree to disagree until such time that the full moon has passed and you can kind of get to a more compromise than you possibly could under this moon.
Yeah, and Aries, this the symbol is the animal, the horn. There's horn. This animal have horn, so it's like this sense of, they can fight forever until one of them just decide that, all right, as you said, let's agree to disagree. Move on.
Yeah, stubborn. And if you've seen those animals like fighting over a mate or whatever it is in the wild, it's like bloody. So yeah, let's just avoid that. Just wait till the 30th of September or the October. So it's got Mars rulership, hasn't it? What can we expect with Mars in there?
Yeah, well, yeah, it's really aligned with what we just said. So basically it's about Mars is the planet of passion, of bravery, energy, ambition. It's basically how you're taking action. So of course this is going to be felt. And when you think about it, like when it's full moon, we most of the time we have like hints of realization and all of that. So this will be really impacted by our passion, our, like, the core of your beliefs.
Okay, interesting. That actually brings us quite nicely to, I was looking at my own Aries placement, and I encourage anybody listening who's finding this all thrilling but also somewhat like confusing with all the the houses, the planets, the rulership. If you go online and just search free birth chart, there's lots and lots of resources online where you can just input your date, time, and place of birth, and that will pump out a free chart that shows you all of the positions, all of the placements that you have, and they're unique to you. So I was interested to see what I've got going on in Aries, and it turns out that my North Node is in Aries. And North Node, well, in general, where your North Node is about survival. And those of us with Aries there have a really like highly developed sense of humor. We often have a past where we kind of had to use our comedy and comic timing to kind of survive and get through things. And I definitely relate to that. And we have like a life direction that we really want to be like the stars of our own show. We're not kind of any bit character, you know. We're like really kind of seeing ourselves as the protagonist. We've got really good karmic connections with others, very sociable, feeling like a challenge to include other people's viewpoints, though, because we do have this sort of fiery survival instinct. It can be hard to take into consideration other people's views because we're just like, this is kind of life or death. So yeah, you kind of can easily push other people to the side. I also have ninth house in Aries as well. So the ninth house is all about study, great cosmic quest, the internet, higher learning, religion, and big dreams. So having Aries here makes people like real visionaries and like wanting to transform the planet and knowing and feeling really strongly that there's a better way to live and a more just way that everybody can have equality and a better life. They seem to dramatically express their creativity. They're almost like crusaders, and they like know that there's more and they want more, and they sometimes get frustrated that other people can't see their vision or can't be bothered to like try for more, which is what they're always going for. So yeah, that's just my Aries placement. So yeah, I'd encourage you to have a little look at your chart and see what that means for you. Do you know what you said you don't have anything, nothing going on?
None at all. No.
See,
And you know, well, what you just mentioned about having a straight point of view, and I've never felt that in you, in a sense that you're really, you're aware of who you are and how you think, but you're still open to hear other people's opinion.
you see, I hide it well.
You hide it well.
I'm just pretending to listen. Yeah,
Yeah, you're pretending to care.
like, idiot. Morons. Oh, thank you. I'm joking, of course. Yeah, that's really nice to know. Yeah, and I mean, all of this is kind of a tendency, and of course we have free will, and so we can work on our tendencies and not always just be like beholden to our astrology. So it's good to know that I'm getting away with it. So we've also got a Venus Uranus clash this month. So Venus is this planet of love and good taste and sort of comfort and luxury and decadence and beauty and art. And Uranus is this massive, it's like the biggest planet that we have. And so it's about expansion and possibility, potential, big shifts, like a little bit similar to what I was saying about Aries in the ninth house, about like the vision of a better, completely transformed world is kind of that Uranian energy. So when we have these two clashing, we could see like ideals, that long held ideals that are kind of shared by humanity, having like a big what's the word, not like a big upheaval, like a big change, a big question mark over them suddenly. So yeah, we'll look out for that. It doesn't necessarily, it's not necessarily a negative thing, you know. Some things that we believed or valued in the past, we now kind of go, oh my god, like I can't believe that was ever a thing. So these shifts do happen, but it's how we approach them and how smoothly we're able to kind of navigate them. So yeah, just a heads up that we've got Venus clashing with Uranus. Have you noticed anything of that nature in your life, Amu?
Well, I guess I'm always trying to evolve. I'm always trying to personally get better. I realize, yes, that around me people are also in that same state of mind. Like they like certain was it things they used to do or things they used to say or think. It's shifting. There is a shifting.
Good, because you're actually ruled by Venus, right? Is that Taurus?
Yeah, Taurus.
Probably feel it more than most potentially because that's the star sign. the planet that rules the star sign that you are. So awesome. What else is going on?
First quarter moon. We have first quarter moon. So the first quarter moon comes between the new moon and the full moon. So we have new moon, then a week later we have first quarter moon, and then we have full moon, and then it's third quarter, and it goes on and on. So first quarter moon, this next first quarter is coming on September 2nd, which is a week after the new moon. So usually on first quarter moon, it's like a time you have to reflect again. But looking at the past week, does your intention are still aligned with where you want to go, or how your state of mind? So you have time to evaluate if you want to recommit, or if you want to still commit to this intention, or if you don't care anymore and just want to let it go, or even set new intention by then.
Yeah,
So yeah.
that's really good, because I think there's a tendency to feel like, oh, but that means a failure. No, not at all. Like if you doggedly pursue something that you lost interest in a week ago, that's a failure. So it doesn't mean that you've given up on that goal. It's just like a pivot towards something more fulfilling or more accurate to where you want to be.
Yeah, and even if you realize that you were working still on something, and after a week you don't want to work on this thing anymore, it's okay. You can release, you can let go, you can just next.
Yeah, 100%. Like for me, at the new moon in Virgo, I was really focusing on like family and not arguing so much, and it kind of got better and then worse and then better. So I just thought maybe the problem is I'm actually just hyper focused on it, so that it's like you're blinkered, so you're only seeing that. And so I kind of drew back from it for a bit, and then when I came back, I could see that actually, like, amongst that ebb and flow, it was actually going in the right direction. You know what I mean? Like when we set goals, it's never just like there we go, progression. It's like up and down and up and down. But if, as long as in the long run it's going upwards, then you'll always get there in the end.
You're on the right track.
100%. And we also need to acknowledge that this full moon in Aries is the first full moon in Aries, so it means that it's the start of a 12-month cycle. I know there seems to be always a 12-month cycle beginning. Like recently we had full moon in Pisces, I think it was. And
Yeah.
that was the start of a new 12-month cycle, because that was the last sign, and now this is the first sign. So again, we've got that energy of like new year almost. So similar to the first quarter moon is like recommitting, re-evaluating, thinking back over the last 12 months, what went well, what haven't you quite achieved, what don't you want to achieve anymore at all, and just taking time to kind of not necessarily set resolutions, because I think most people are like sick of that now, that whole sort of idea of like, oh, new year, new me. No, it's the same you and you're great, that's fine, you don't need to change. But just to kind of really set some powerful smart targets that you can actually look back on in another 12 months and say like, yeah, I've kind of ticked some of them off, not all, but so
yeah, I was gonna say that, like, it could be on a longer term, bigger, like bigger intention, bigger expectation, even, like, in a sense that, every 2 weeks we have a new lunation, but this time it could be over 12 months, or a bigger something you want to achieve on the long run, and not necessarily in this next 2 weeks or months. Or
yeah, exactly. It's like if we look at male and female, like men seem to have more like a daily circadian rhythm, which women also obviously have as well. We wake up, we have a day of activity, and then we fall asleep again, and it's usually with the sunrise and the sunset. But women also have the monthly cycle, and pregnant women kind of go on this 9 monthly or 10 monthly cycle. So there's so many different kind of little benchmarks that we're thinking about. And yeah, like you say, some are tiny little micro ones and some are like these macros. So I think, yeah, when we're approaching the full moon in Aries, to think more macro in terms of 12 months from now, what could you hope to have achieved?
Sound nice.
So, which houses are going to be impacted?
Let's see. So, we're talking here about sun sign or star sign, basically your regular zodiac and your rising sign. So if you have one, whichever sign that will be mentioned with the 12 of them, actually whichever house will be mentioned. So if you have your sun sign or your rising sign, look for that house. So first of all, the moon is in Aries, so the first house would be Aries. The first house is about awareness of self. It's about identity. It's about personality and physical body. So watch for this. If your rising or sun sign is Pisces, it's your second house that will be impacted. The second house, it's about having, it's about possession, it's about money and security. So it's more tangible, you know, whatever you need to feel secure on a daily basis. This is second house. And then we have Aquarius for the third house, which is about what you think. So it can be communication, so basically mental activity. So social skills and all of that. And siblings, communication with siblings, you know, it's not always easy, let's say that. After that, we have Capricorn. So if your rising or sun sign is Capricorn, it's your fourth house that is impacted, which is about what you nurture or what you need to feel nurtured. So it's your home, your family, your roots, your core. After that, we have Sagittarius, house 5. The fifth house is about creation. So creativity mostly, romance, and children. Yes, your fifth house is impacted.
I was thinking about that because end of September, it's like very much going into that autumnal phase. And I do find that more creative. Like for me, the transition seasons of spring and autumn, I really like because I like that feeling of being on my way somewhere and the feeling of being in the flow of creation. Whereas when we actually arrive, I feel like the summer and winter are very much like you've arrived and you've landed and the creation is complete. So I really prefer that, the sort of autumn months and spring months to a lesser extent. But I really love autumn. And I think it's for that reason that it feels like like you're sort of at home.
Yeah, your cocoon.
You're like just getting everything ready and like, yeah, I love it. I love it.
All right, next. So if your rising or sun sign is Scorpio, it's your sixth house that is impacted. Sixth house is about service. So your health, your job, your daily routine, as well as self-care. So the way you treat yourself and the way you treat others. Libra for the seventh house. The seventh house is about partnership, marriage. It could be business partnership. It could be friendship. Any union you have. This you're gonna feel impact on this side. After that, eighth house for Virgo. So if your sun or rising is Virgo, your eighth house would be impacted. Eighth house is about circulation, transformation, death, letting go. And when we say death, it doesn't have to be physical death. You know, it can be spiritual death. It could be death. It's a refresh. It's the end of something and a new beginning for something else.
Mm-hmm.
After that, we have Leo in the ninth house. So it's about exploration. It's about higher education or education in general. It's about traveling. It's about spirituality and philosophy. My rising is Leo, so this would be impacted. At the time we are end of September. Well, I'm actually gathering myself. If we talk about traveling, I mean, I I will be traveling soon enough, going back to Jamaica. I've been up here for a long while. So yeah, I guess, yeah. And in terms of philosophy and spirituality and education, I said it before, I always try to better myself and become wiser.
Mm,
Wiser is the word.
yeah.
If you have Cancer as a rising or sun sign, it's your 10th house that is impacted. 10th house is about achievement. So your career, your status, your reputation, legacy, and your public image. So whatever you leave out there, whatever you put out there is going to be impacted. Um, we have then Gemini in the 11th house. So it's about aspiration. It can be your goals, but it can be also what's going on with your group of friends. And
Ooh, that's me up again.
yes,
Yeah, so I
yeah.
have Gemini as my star sign. Yeah, I feel like definitely my social network is finally beginning to expand, like I moved in July. So now I've settled, I've started to find out what's where and where the groups and people that are kind of into me, the same things as me and into, on my wavelength. So yeah, that definitely feels right that my social circle is expanding. But I guess with the full moon, it's also like about not just expanding it um at expense of quality, like we were talking about this earlier, weren't we? Like it's great to have friends, but they have to be quality friends, otherwise you're kind of just not, yeah, you're not alone, but are you actually having a real connection with these people, and are you
Yeah.
receiving as much as you're giving? So yeah, I hope that I've been discerning with these new friendship groups so that I'm not later having to like rethink and like try and disentangle myself.
It just reminded me a post I've seen on Instagram recently about feeding yourself is not only what you eat, it's also the people that are around you, what you're listening to, what kind of music, what kind of show you're watching. And so, yeah, it's important to have quality people around you, because you're not that you become the people that are around you, but if you have certain energy around you, it's what's that word?
Draining.
We yeah, draining, but also we are chameleons. Like, so whatever is around you, we are going to imitate, we are going to be what is around you, us.
Yeah, 100%.
So yeah, it's important. Quality. All right, last one. Taurus. So if your sun sign or rising sign is Taurus, it's your 12th house that is impacted, which is about dreaming.
Mm.
So introspection, also limitation, unconscious, and solitude. So it's really what's going in the back of your mind. I'm a Taurus sun sign. So yeah, I feel like in this case, I should, because it's the full moon, right? So full moon is about releasing. So in this case, I feel like I should release like my fear of not having enough, my fear of not being able to achieve what I want to achieve. Because again, as I said, I would be traveling soon to go back to Jamaica, and I have to let go of like whatever is holding me back, whatever I feel like I have to finish. So I just have to focus on this, because if I finish whatever I have to finish, there's no way why I would feel like something is holding me back.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. Okay, very nice. So that's the houses that are impacted. We ordinarily do a little ceremony, and this month is no different. And since we're in Aries, we're going to be using fire. Although I've just noticed that
Hiya.
my candle is failing. I think the wick got wet.
Oh.
Yeah, so we may have to insert like a little fire emoji instead of the real thing. But we've come up with a
Well,
love.
it's in the presentation. We have fire right
There you
here.
go. Just look into that candle and imagine. Aries is a very imaginative sign.
So basically, we suggest that on the night of the full moon, you could light a candle and Try to focus the whole ceremony part around the houses that are impacted to you.
Perfect. So for now, we just have this little sort of mantra affirmation-y thing that I wrote. So we can just say that 3 times. But I think my big one for this full moon in Aries at the end of September is like, I'm trying to think of the best word to describe it. Like I feel like lately we've seen so much in the media to suggest that we are not privy to all of the facts, and that the narrative, the mainstream narrative that's pushed, is like almost certainly just nonsense, like so far from the truth. So I guess what I'm going to release is like any opposition to that, because I think sometimes it can be jarring to know that like things that you thought and things that you've been told for a long time and even like encouraged to believe are not correct. It can be really hard to give that truth up, or give that falsehood up actually, and accept the truth. So I'm going to embrace, I don't really know how to word it well, I'm going to like give up my delusions, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, like give up anywhere that I'm still believing nonsense.
Yeah. Nonsense. I love that. Yeah, well, I guess it worked with limiting beliefs, because if it's nonsense, it's somewhere limiting you.
Yeah, it's kind of like comfortable but blissfully ignorant, but you know, why would you want to be blissfully ignorant? I'd rather
Yeah.
cold truth, even if it's like disturbing. Yeah.
True.
All right, well, what about you? What are you going to be releasing or letting go of or forgiving?
Limiting beliefs.
It's a good one. It's a good one. It's a catch-all, but it always,
Yeah.
and I mean,
Yeah. I'm just because, yeah, I feel like it's one thing that is holding me back, and the one thing is myself. The fact that sometimes I'm thinking, but why, what these people are gonna think, or what, and not anybody. I mean, sometimes it's my mom. Like I want her to be proud, and because there's risk I want to take, and I know it is a risk. But I mean, if you don't risk anything, you don't do nothing.
yeah, I mean,
So
I'm here just to just like sit quietly in our little display box, did we? Like,
yeah.
yeah, you got to get out there and get hurt and
Exactly. And it's just, especially, when you want to do something that as you said, you heard for so long that was wrong, that's not a good idea, that you shouldn't do that, this, that. But I want to do it. Like, why do you care? It's my life. And it's not like I'm aware that this will or might have repercussion on people around me. But the truth is, it shouldn't, because it's not their life.
All right, cool. Well, let's go for it then. It's a bit of a mouthful, so we'll just do it 3 times over. So release it, give it up. The momentum is enough. If it isn't, serve it me, turning straight to dust. Ashes to ashes, forgiveness is a must. All that I desire, it is surely coming up. Release it, give it up. The momentum is enough. If it isn't serving me, turn it straight to dust. Ashes to ashes, forgiveness is a must. All that I desire, it is surely coming up. Release it, give it up. The momentum is enough. If it isn't serving me, turn it straight to dust. Ashes to ashes, forgiveness is a must. All that I desire, it is surely coming up. Aho.
Yay!
Oh. So we've got our lovely tarot reading now.
Yeah, we have, for the tarot reading, we have the Emperor card. So the Emperor card is associated with Aries. And this one is about structure and establishment, as well as resisting to change. And the reason why the Emperor is like resist to change, it's because of structure and establishment. The Emperor is like this kind of father figure, this man who's seen everything, and it's like he's not making the same mistake twice. All right, so this is what he's resisting to change, because why would you change a winning formula? We have this also kind of universe got your back vibration, because as I said, the Emperor been there, done that, so he know how to navigate. So when I say universe got your back, it's basically because you know already. You know already if you follow your gut, if you follow your the fire energy in you, there is no way you would go wrong for you.
Yeah.
I feel like I want to pull some card. I have
Yeah.
this oracle here I love. I guess we can go with what to focus on and what to avoid. So for this next lunation, what should we focus on? What to avoid? All right. Okay, so we should focus on, we have here, the card is called Crossroad. So basically, I feel like, well, we would always have choices to make, but the key here is to stand firm and be confident in the choices you make, because you made it for a reason, and think about you when you make those choices, because you alone is living your life. What should we avoid now? We have, this one came out on reverse. So this one usually is about letting your light shine, because whatever you put out there will come back to you. So so you see how this turtle is holding a treasure. So if you hold your treasure, you're not gonna attract treasure. Don't hold it, don't leave it to yourself, because it was upside down. So don't leave it for yourself, let your light shine. And also let your truth shine, because as I said, you're the only person living your life. So even if people around you doesn't agree, is it their life? No, it's not. So
No.
yeah, do your things and stand firm.
Nice. Yeah, because even if you just are a good girl and do like they wanted you, are you going to feel fulfilled at the end? Or are you going to be
Exactly. That's
frustrated?
the key. Yeah, when you think about it, you're the only person that will be there until the end. So at the end, if you reflect on your life and you realize that you haven't done anything for you, like if my parents wanted me to become a engineer or a doctor, or I mean, of course they would be happy for me, but if it's not what I want, they have no right to tell me that I should do this, I should do that,
Yeah, and you'll
because
just
it's gonna make them happy, but it's not gonna make me any more happy.
yeah, man. Oh, thank you so much. I loved that. Full moon in Aries. Power. Power. Cool. So what do we have next?
A new moon in Libra, we have an eclipse in Libra, October 14.
Ooh, okay, awesome. Look forward to that. So join us again next time. And yeah, like we said, in the meantime, come join us over in Telegram.
Yep, the QR code is right here. And until then, take care.
Take care, y'all. And oh yeah, like give us some love. Talk to us in the comments below. We'll always chat back.
Yeah, we want to know how you feel. We want to know how you like, how you enjoy the presentation. We also want to know what kind of content you want to see. Yes, we're talking about astrology, but I mean, we've mentioned, for example, we want to talk about the inner planet and the outer planet. So if you have other topic like this, you can mention it as well.
Yeah, let us know what you want to hear about. All right, loads of love, one and all. Mwah, 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 mwah.
Bye.
Bye.